Hello everyone. Well, this started off amazingly. I hope you all can hear me because on my end the intro clip completely froze up. So yeah, hope you all can hear me. Hope the audio is okay. Hope everything is fine. And just in case it is, and I don't have to fix everything up again, welcome to episode 27 of the Redseapodcast. Finally, an episode where we can get into it with a positive note after the Sundays we truly all know and love, uh, which we will get into in a bit. But yeah, and I'm very anxious about my audio. I really hope everything's okay. Uh, so yeah, before we get into anything, uh, do make sure to follow what the banner says if you like what you see. I know there has been a few new people on the channel given I started posting over on Reddit as well, in which the interaction has been absolutely wonderful. No complaints there. So yes, uh, honestly, it's been delightful to have so much more interaction on my post because for those of you who have been following me for quite a bit or know me a bit more personally, this is the main goal of the brand to interact with you all. That's why I welcome messages, um, I welcome comments of any kind from anyone really. Like there is quite a few fan bases that do follow this brand, Greek or not. So yeah, the interaction has been absolutely incredible. Uh, what to get into, what to get into. Yeah, as I was saying, please, if you like what you see, of course, do go check out the description where everything should be there. Uh, Instagram and Twitter for all the news you guys want. Yesterday was a very busy day with quite a few uh, posts, so please do go check those out. Uh, Twitter especially has a lot more interaction. Twitter has also been the source of some of my best relationships regarding the show. Some very good friends of mine I've met through the show's Twitter. So yeah, do go check it all out. Of course, like and subscribe here. It doesn't cost you absolutely anything, and it helps me way more than you all can imagine. And last but certainly not least is Spotify, in which the episodes go up. I'd say I'd give it about 2 hours, around about 2 hours. I never know what time to say on Spotify because, as I've expressed publicly many times, posting on Spotify is horrific. It is so bad. It's honestly so bad. So yeah, good stuff coming up for this show. Busy week for those of you who didn't see the program. There is still a slight chance that I may go to the Braga game, but nothing concrete on that yet. Of course, I'll update everyone, but there is a pre-game set to be expected. There is a post-game right after the game also set to be expected. And then when I did post the program up, I did completely forget that we have the derby against Panathinaikos the next weekend. So there is definitely a post game to be expected on that, with some chat about how going into the national break will look like regarding everything, and mostly depending on the two very important results coming up. Uh, in which I think it's a bit of an unpopular opinion. I think that the Panathinaikos result is a bit more important than what happens on Thursday, but we'll also get into that. No complaints really for my audio just yet, so I will hope everything continues to be okay. So yeah, I think I'll jump into the basketball first to go for a most positive but most absolutely chaotic result. Uh, I feel like this final had everything, and I feel like we'll see some insanely good derbies. This, uh, ooh, just saw the question. Ooh, no, I want to get into that now. Ah, that's that fucked my brain up completely now. I'd say it's the league. As wild as that may sound, of course, I'm a person who wants to see us succeed in Europe so much. I'm a person that would love the the Europa League, not winning the Europa League, of course, but I'm a person that would love the Europa League going our way, especially draw-wise in the knockouts. Uh, but yeah, going 3 years without the league. Yeah, exactly my point. Going 3 years without the league would be bad. Going 3 years without the league would be very bad. So I'd say the league is the priority, and that's why I said that the Panathinaikos result is slightly more important than Braga, because if we do end up getting the victory on Sunday, I'm pretty sure, I think it's safe to say that we knocked them out of contention from early October. If they're not out already, if they lose to us, that would probably mean an Alonso sacking, which will completely throw the club even more into a loop. So I think, especially if they lose on Sunday, I think it's safe to say that they're out of contention from now. So yeah, I'll stick with my. I would love to hear everyone's opinion for whoever listens to this, either in the comments or the Spotify question thing. Uh, what's the priority for you all? Is it the Super League? Even though I think most people will agree with me. But is it the Super League or is it getting far in the Europa League? So yeah, that was a very, very interesting question that threw me for such a loop, and I didn't expect. Uh, in all seriousness, no, in all seriousness, I don't know what to call for the league. Last year, I felt like it was a bit easier to call the league. I felt like it was a bit easier to call the league. But this year has been complete chaos. This year has been so chaotic, I feel like. And I feel like it's been way more chaotic than it's been most years, I remember. I don't know if that's because the big boys have gotten worse. I don't know if it's because small teams are finally starting to. Yeah, that was my point. The fear it's not getting that insanely close, but especially the midfield is getting closer and closer, and that's where I'll give my props to Califea again, because I've been watching football seriously for a bit more than a decade now, and Calthea, the first serious newly promoted team that I've seen make an impact immediately, even though a record of 0 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses is insane. But I do believe that they are going to do better than most of us expected. And yes, I know that in the predictions you call them as your surprise team, but I think they'll surprise us even more than we expect. Uh, we'll say there is a lot of shouts this year, honestly, for surprise teams. But yeah, it is. It's getting closer. I feel like we're heading towards a proper midfield in the league again. Maybe heading towards giving. Hi. I was just talking about the chaos that is this year's Super League, uh, and how unpredictable most places are. And that I was just about to say, I do believe that we'll see one or two. I don't know if Harris make it into this top four playoff thing that starts this year, I would say that is unexpected. Uh, but I wouldn't say Aris is unexpected in Europe in general. But depending on how god awful Panathinaikos keep being, I would really go out and say that there is a big chance we'll see a new team, a team at least that we haven't seen in a while, be in Europe at the end of this season, claiming probably the fifth European spot. But yeah, it's crazy to predict. It's crazy to call right now. I'm pretty sure I just saw. Let me actually check this. Uh, I'll get to that in a second because I did talk about it. But let me actually check something out because I am pretty sure that Panserikos are currently beating Lamia, which I didn't expect. So the places are genuinely more and more unpredictable, in my opinion. Now, I guess I'll continue with football because Jesus, there is a lot of spiraling talk coming up. I did kind of touch on this because I said that I do believe that if we uh, if we beat them on Sunday, we do fully knock them out of contention because either Alonso goes immediately in the national break, or Alonso stays and he completely loses the locker room, so their form drops even more. That's why I went out and said that the result against Panathinaikos is even more important than the result against Braga, because I think you sent them, I do believe that you sent them into a loophole either way. Like either Alonso stays and they continue even worse than they are right now, or Alonso goes and they either manage to completely downgrade because it's more of a case. I think I can call it like it was last 2 years for us, where you can't really find a serious coach. I think it will be another Corberan case for them if Alonso goes. Panathinaikos fans are throwing shade to everyone because they like to blame everyone but themselves. Uh, so I think it will be another Corberan case. Like it will be a manager that stays 3, 4 games and then they're gone as well. That's why to go back to my previous point, that's why I'm saying that there is a big chance that Pana don't even make Europe. So we'll see. We'll honestly see. I'll switch plans because we are fully getting into football and I do want to talk about all that's happened. Uh, Interesting Sunday, to say the least. Ketsbaia to Panathinaikos is something I die to see. Ketsbaia managing a team with that quality and that owner is something I would die to see. I mean, Carvalhal will probably be available soon too, so that's another choice. But yeah, interesting Sunday yesterday, to say the least, which did start with a very, very positive result for us. And I don't know why there was so much whining and so much complaining about how the team performed. Of course, we beat the Trompers 2-0 with goals from Rodinei from the spot and a wonderful goal in honestly any angle you look at it, like from the assist to the control to the finish to anything, an absolutely crazily wonderful goal by Ayub El Kabir with an assist from the man, the myth, the legend right now, the GOAT indeed, Christos Mouzakitis. Uh, I believe in this kid so fucking much. Like, of course, Kostulas as well, but I believe in Mouzakitis so, so much. It's insane for a kid that is 17 years old to throw a volley like that, to kick a volley like that on the turn and find El Kabi perfectly. That's insane to me. That's insane. That's completely insane. Uh, so yeah, let's talk about it, shall we? The 11, of course, was Zolakis, Apostolopoulos, Karmo, Retsos, Kostinia, Stamenic, Mouzakitis, Velde, Oliveira, Rodinei, and Kostulas up front. Now, there were the lineup split OnlyFans into two groups, as it usually does. There was a group that I was in, the people who were completely excited not to just finally see the kids play, but in general to see something so different uh, from the play style, at least in my opinion, as well, to the players themselves. And there were the wrong group. There was the wrong group that was worried and that was complaining. As I said, and as the man that's in the chat right now said, George, only hands will complain whatever happens. Win, draw, or lose, there will always be something to apparently complain about. Fans truly would rather cry than see whatever positive there is to keep. And I don't care if I'm overreacting. I will keep overreacting because it pisses me off so much when there is such clear positives. Like, for example, the first time we see academy kids breaking through so easily and outperforming even most senior players, I think it's safe to say. And people complain about the team not being where it needs to be. Now, that's another interesting question. Do we protect Musa or expose him to regular first team football? Hmm. I'd say that he needs to be uh, inducted into the. He's a senior player now. Like it's shown in the way he plays. Like as I just said, he's outperforming people like Stamenic, for example. He completely made him disappear. He ran the midfield yesterday, in my opinion, even though we will get into Oliveira right after. Uh, I think that he needs to at least be on the bench constantly. I think he needs the time. I will go with regular first team football. I think he should be a starter in games like this, and I think he needs time in the big games as well. Not necessarily always, of course. We don't want to just burn the kid, but he needs some time and some experience in the big games as well. I'm the first person that said that they did want to see him against Lyon, at least like the 5-10 final minutes of the game. I did want to see him get some time against Lyon. And of course, I'm not saying that the team is uh, to the point I was making before. I'm not saying the team is perfect. Of course, the team is far from perfect, but we are building on something. Players are gelling. Uh, of course, at least, I can mostly speak for myself, but for most that I have seen as well, I trust Mendilibar fully, and I always will. Of course, he's not perfect, no one is, but he is the coach that did what he did last season, and I believe that he can do even more and better. So, yeah, I know that things went wrong, and I know that the last few weeks have been very negative, and criticism is always, always accepted, and criticism, in my opinion, is also needed, but we can't destroy everything. I feel like I'll say this every show, but we can't just completely null and void everything that's happening into a negative just bucket of chaotic bullshit. We need to spread the positives and negatives out. There needs to be hope. There needs to be chances given. There needs to be the hardest thing that there can be uh, for Greek fans, and that's patience. There needs to be patience. We need to trust players like Musa, like Kostulas, like Bakulas, like Papaganellos, yes, and even Apostolopoulos. I don't get the full. Just he doesn't deserve to be in the team. Like, okay, he's not anything amazing. We didn't expect all of that generation to be the next Yamal, but I do believe that he can improve. I am willing to give Apostolopoulos time as well. I'm willing to give him a chance as well. Do we need a left back? Yes. A left back right now for me with Yusuf Yazici coming in, which I that that should be more self-evident than it is. I don't even know where the comments are. Uh, but yeah, uh, I have said that we need a left back, and in my opinion, right now, it's the main priority that the team needs. Uh, but Apostolopoulos does deserve to be in this team, and he doesn't deserve to pick up so much blame. In my opinion, he was okay against Atromitos. He wasn't bad. He wasn't anything amazing, as I said. Yeah, we can't just be La Masia, we can't just spawn players. But he wasn't bad. We can't just throw everyone in the same bucket. Like you're not either a wonderkid or you're horrific. You can be okay. and Apostolopoulos is an okay player that deserves to be in this team. Exactly. There is also this, that the fans really shouldn't judge the youth with the same expectations that we have from players like El Kabi, for example. Kostoulas shouldn't be expected to do what El Kabi does. Mouzakidis shouldn't be expected to do what Hesse does. Apostolopoulos shouldn't be expected to do what Ortega does. Koutsidis shouldn't be expected to do what Retsus does. And the list goes on. There needs to be something that is fully non-existent in Greek football fan bases, and not just us, everyone. There needs to be patience with these kids, and they need time. Especially Kostoulas and Mouzakidis, they need time. And I do believe that they've earned that time. And I do believe, I didn't want to say, I'm not even going to read it out loud. Whoever watches this later or whoever seeing this now, I didn't want to say that. I agree with it, but I didn't want to say. But yeah, I do also believe that Mouza and Kostoulas should both play. It's Praga. Not start, play. Panathinaikos is a different story, and we'll talk about it when we get there. Now, a topic also worth talking about for the Atromitos game. Sergio Oliveira. I don't know if I watched a completely different game than a lot of the people I saw, but I saw so much improvement from him. He played, how much did he play? When did he get subbed off? He got subbed off in the 62nd for Chiquinho, of course. But I saw so much improvement. Like, he needs time to gel with the players around him for whatever midfield he's a part of. Whether he does eventually take over as a starting 10 and Chiquinho can finally be brought back to his proper position, or if he does come off the bench, if he's that player who comes off the bench in Europe and just start some league games and that's that, he needs time to gel with the players and he needs time to get back to full fitness. Not as much time as William does, but he needs some time as well, which is okay. And I was doubtful about the Sergio Oliveira transfer. I still kind of am. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But he is showing improvement. And if he does continue like this, just go up and up on his performances, he will do better than most of us expect. And again, with the complaining, I don't know why there was so much complaining. I don't know why he got called. I think I can mostly say this for Olympiacos fans because I'm not that interactive with other fan pages, with other fans in general. I do have some interaction with the AEK fan base due to my lovely girlfriend, of course. But again, I can speak mostly about us. And I think once we have formed a first impression on a player, I think we stay there. Like, bar some exceptions, I think we just stay there. We refuse to see improvement. We refuse to see when a player goes up, and we refuse to see when a player goes down. We just stick into opinions. And the main example of that, and I've said it openly many times that I've fallen into wrong criticism of this man, especially, is Yorgos Masouras. Is he inconsistent? Yes. Masouras is an inconsistent player, but he gets so much unnecessary stick. And for me, the team is missing him. Right now, I said this on a previous show as well. The team is missing Masouras. The team was missing Rechos more, but the team is missing Yorgos Masouras. Especially in this sort of 4-4-2 with that 9 or that 3-5-2 we played, and if we do continue to go with that 3-5-2, especially in Europe, Masouras would do wonders as that second striker. Now. Yes, this is exactly my point. That it's mainly his runs. His runs of Masouras can do a few things, but he does them very well. Masouras is amazing on balancing offense and defense when needed. Masouras is the only person on the team that can cover Ortega's mistakes down the left. And Masouras' runs off the ball are something, well, not no one in the team has, but he is up there. And against some teams, for example, that would have been massively needed against Panatolikos. Teams that are fully 11 in the back. We need players that can work well off the ball and get behind and break that absolutely unbreakable, annoying wall that some teams set up, at least for me. Now, I do want to go into another player that thankfully got the recognition that he did deserve for the amazing performance. And a right side that I would argue we need to see a bit more. And that's Costinha. Costinha who got shouts for MVP as well. He is SofaScore's MVP, actually, now that I say it. And honestly, he does get a massive honorable mention from me as well. Of course, my MVP, if I did have to give the MVP. The ratings, by the way, will be back hopefully for Braga. I just haven't had the time to make the graphs and everything so easily. But the ratings will hopefully be back for Braga onwards. But yes, my MVP for yesterday would be Musa. I would give it to Musakitis. And the list would go Musakitis, Rodinei, and then Costinha, honestly. Rodinei, of course, adapting to an attacking role very well, almost getting aside the penalty, almost scoring another one, that insane crossbar hit. I did compare it to the Pavlovic shot on the Bayern Munich against Leverkusen game. For whoever did see that, doubt many people missed it. Oh shit, I completely forgot. Wait, I'll get it. How dare me? It's right here. But yeah, I did compare it to that goal. And if that went in, I think people would have gone absolutely insane. But yes, Roddy adapted very well to that right midfielder, right winger role. And I think it's the most successful dribble we've seen from a winger on our team in a while. Uh, Never. Of course, this is. Ah, you don't know the story, do you? This is the scarf that uh, I picked up uh, against Aston Villa, the Aston Villa game. So this will forever be my lucky scarf for the team, and this is something I now bring to any game, and this is something I will bring on Thursday as well, if I do manage to go, and I am saying never. So, continuing on, what was I even talking about? I sidetracked completely. Uh, and I, Costinha, yes. Uh, Impressive is an understatement, at least in my opinion. Let me actually check out his stats. Uh, of course, a full 90, dribble past just once. Did he pick up an assist? He also was very unlucky not to score, hitting the post. He didn't pick up an assist. No, for some reason I wrote this goal with a penalty. I'm stupid. But yeah, impressive both attackingly and defensively. Made some very good tackles. And honestly, all around showing why he is a rightful uh, successor to Rodinei. Who else did I want to touch on? The man that I did call an unsung hero to, of course, against Lyon, but also yesterday. Rezos. Rezos, who played his second competitive game yesterday, and Rezos, who also for another game was wonderful. Rezos was absolutely wonderful for me. Honestly, as I said before, showing why the team missed him the most and showing why he deserves to be the captain of this team along with Rodney, and showing why he deserves those 100 appearances, and showing once again why he deserves to be called one of our own. No matter the injury record, no matter anything that happens, he deserves to be called one of our own. And I think that that's about. No, it's not. Because I did leave the negative for last. I will throw the. Ooh, I forgot. I. Two very interesting comments. I'll get to those. I do want to talk about something that, in my opinion, is the only main negative from yesterday. And then I'll throw my shade. Well, then, I didn't like him at all. If Hodeschiotis wasn't an absolute dumbass and just clattered him outside the GK area, I don't think he would have done anything memorable yesterday. And I really, really think that he is better coming off the bench. I said this against Lyon, and I'll say it again. I do want to see Velte off the bench for a few games. I feel like his energy, the energy he brings right off the bat, his and his power will just do wonders if he comes on for the last 30, 40 minutes. So we'll see. For me, there is something that needs to change because his form has been a bit underwhelming lately. Now, before I get to the two very interesting comments here, uh, I do want to throw some shade, and uh, very few of you will understand what I'm talking about. There was a certain showman that came out and said that we shouldn't be happy about Rodinei renewing until 2027 and was ironic about that renewal. That's all I'll say. The people that know me know where my recent shade has been thrown, and the people that know me know who I've been very critical of lately, the specific cases. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Now, in the comments, I will get into the Masuras one. I think this is about Masuras. Uh, yes, we have a saying in the UK, and that's exactly what it says on the tin. Yes, Masuras does what he can always. He doesn't do much, but he does what he can perfectly always. But he gets stick because he's Greek, and he gets stick because he's quote unquote an easy target. Now, I completely forgot to talk about Yazici, and I did mention him. I'm not, I'm in a bit of a middle ground. Yeah. No problems with the man because, for example, he did, if we do want to touch on the political stuff, immediately he himself went to delete the last Kemal post right before, I think a day before he got announced when he signed, I don't know. Wonderful player, one of the most quality additions of this year. Uh, he is, didn't know that. But yes, purely football wise, one of the most quality additions for this year. And if he respects the country he's here for, he's here to play for, no problems by me. Now, for the people saying that we should never sign Turkish players, for the people saying that it's a shameful signing, could we have done better? Yes. Do we need him right now, and will he cover the team's pain fully? Also, yes. Yazici at his best covers our creativity problems, in my opinion. So, yes, with the situation we are in, I'm more than good with the signing. Now, reactions that are fully politics and no football at all, for me, are stupid. There needs to be a 50-50 when we talk about athletes and politics. Now, if we have another Ikadim case, I think his name was Ikadim, and he posts about Kemal while he's here, and yeah, that's a contract termination, like immediately. But I don't believe he will. So I'm waiting to see what happens on the pitch as well. Uh, and I think that's about it for football. But of course, the show is nowhere near done yet. Uh, because there is what I was going to talk about originally at the start, and that's the Super Cup final. Starting off with a cup going our way, the correct way, as I said. And honestly, for me, the score doesn't really reflect how the victory came. Uh, for me, it was more of a comfortable victory. I think this is our first straight Super Cup. I am not gonna blow the title out of the water because we did win the Super Cup last year as well, and we saw how that went. But I did say, and I will continue to say, that I am very, very excited about what will say basketball wise this season. And I know I am acting like a 5-year-old, but most of you know or have heard how much I adore this sport. I've been playing it for all my life and I do want to get back into it, but that's whole different personal story. uh, and I love talking about this sport and I'm so, so, so happy everything is beginning again. Uh, yeah, yeah, there was a slight problem on 3-point shooting, but nothing really to complain for, at least in my opinion. Uh, Starting off fully shade throwing because there were so so much stuff. There was so much stuff that was happening. I don't even know where to start. Of course, for I'm gonna get into that. For a refurbished stadium, right, completely destroyed the the rim, and we did have a 30-minute delay, which is the main reason that the show is happening today and not yesterday. Which is also the main reason Gav isn't here. Of course, I'm never gonna ask this man. This man has helped me with the show so much. I'm never gonna ask him to just fully go with my schedule. Bishops happen. He'll probably be here either at the end of this show or on Wednesday. But yeah, I had completely fucking up the and 9 people over it. I'm speechless. I'm sorry, but 9 people over it to fix it in the most Greek way possible, putting two wooden planks on the bank, which prevented vision to half of that side of the fence. Ah, Grace, 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 Grace. Fuck it. What's new? Either way. Now, starting off with the MVP, starting off with the top scorer of the tournament, starting off with a man that even on his bad nights can come in on a derby, just put 20 on Pana's head. I missed Sasa so, so much. I missed having Sasa in red so much. He's such an insane, he's such a joy to watch. There is a reason he's one of my favorite players. There is a reason. Do I have it? Don't give me a second. One second. Is it here? No. There was a jersey with Sasa's number somewhere, but that's not there anymore. But yeah, I genuinely think that we're going to see an MVP year from him. Again, he left an MVP, played for a year in the NBA, and came back even better. He's going to be wild to watch this year. I've said it before. Again, people told me that I am overreacting, but I am gonna stand my ground. I am gonna die on this hill. That this roster is gonna do wonderful things. Sasha will destroy most teams. Like if he can drop 20 in a Supercup final against Pana, who, okay, let's not lie to ourselves, we do have arguably the two best teams in Europe. What will he do against teams like Asvel or Alba? Sasha's gonna have a wonderful year. And another two that are gonna have a wonderful year are Philip, who is covering such a big miss uh, of course, Moose and Milutinov. Philip having to play at the five. Uh, Philip, who almost left the team. And I'm so grateful that Philip didn't leave the team. If he was good last year, I feel like he's gonna be 100 times better this year. And under Coach B, I think he is one of those players that fit perfectly. Perfectly. I fucking hope so. I fucking hope so. That's all I'll say for this comment. But yeah, Philip is gonna do so much this year. Philip is gonna cover so many gaps, so many places, so many injuries like he's already doing. Knock on wood, let's not have more of them. And another man that was on fire yesterday is Tyler fucking Dorsey. I am already getting humiliated because I've said it openly. I am more than willing to admit my mistakes. I was doubtful about Tyler coming back. But he's shown right off the bat what he's here to do. He's shown that he's here for success. And he's shown that he's here to give his 100% to get that success. And I'm fully behind him. Said it, more of that, and I'll eat all my words. I've openly apologized and I will do it every single show if I have to. Because just watching Tyler kill those shots, draining them is an understatement. Uh, if I didn't have to hear Ioano and the other dude, what even is his name, saying Tyler time, everything would be perfect. Now, moving on to the man of the hour always. People were complaining about Fournier, but people also need to realize that for the past 12 years, this was the off season for Evan Fournier. Uh, he needs time. We all knew that he would need time, but I'm liking what I'm saying. For me, he played a bit too much yesterday. He shouldn't have got 29 minutes. For me, he played a bit too much. He needs to be a bit more eased into the team. But yeah, no real complaint. Of course, not the Fournier we know that will come, not the Fournier that will fully improve and get back to his best, but good performance. Mr. Board Breaker now. Moses played 14 minutes. He wasn't half bad. Yes, this is the main issue. Have no doubt in Fournier. I I half about cried of happiness when he came here. I was so mad I couldn't go to the airport. uh, he will be wonderful, but he needs the time. Uh, Moving on to Mr. Board Breaker, as I said. I believe in Moses. I believe in him a lot, and so does Big. He needs to slightly improve, especially in the back, because having to go against players like Matthias Lesor, who we will get into, because he had the clown show yesterday, and I do want to rant about that. And I do have a very valid reason to rant before this goes to any Pana fans here and they just completely kill me. Uh, he has to improve a bit for me. He didn't play badly, but he needs to just fix those little mistakes that are in his play style, and he again will be absolutely superb. Uh, when Mo and Milutinov come back slowly, I think he'll get his time. Think that with them two with him, he'll be better and better. Now, το πουλένου μου, my underestimated signing of the year, my underrated signing of the year. I'm liking what I'm saying. Vildoza didn't play much, no. Uh, didn't really show much on the stats, but I do believe that he's going to be so good for us, and I stand by that. Stand by that. He knows his role. He showed absolute respect to his former team. He did what he had to, played very well, and I do believe that, like Fournier, of course, not on the same caliber, but his performances will only be on the up. Thomas, we all know, excuse me for that, but my throat is closing. Thomas, we all know what he can give. Peters, same thing. And again, every time I mention Peters, I just laugh at the comments of him wanting to go. I just die at the comments of him wanting to go. Uh, and yeah, on individual performances, I think that's about it for the comments I want to say. And I think I would do want to get into the rant I mentioned because for all that Lesor does on the field, he just completely ruins it with his off-field stuff. From the utterly ridiculous flopping to tearing off the protective board of the basketball, to just kicking full power a basketball into the crowd, to attacking a fan, to fully arguing with a fan, to anything he's done. Like it's unbelievable in my head that a player that knows this much basketball, because let's not lie to ourselves, Lesor. Player wise alone, he's a very, very good center. He's so stupid. He has a problem in the head. A player that knows this much basketball, a beast of a center, because physically that one is insane. He can't do shit like. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because I'm not for just completely destroying players that we don't know off the pitch, but on the pitch he looks like he has. I'm speechless. Anger is what comes to my mind. It doesn't compute in my head. I don't know what else to say. Not even gonna touch on Slugas. That foul. I did talk about it on Twitter mostly. That foul on Petrusev, not even checking if he's okay after a foul that would have cost him way more than even a hospital trip. Everything Lucas did yesterday from cursing at Baljoka. Not gonna say what he said because don't wanna curse like that. I'm guessing you all know what he said. Uh, to avoiding shaking Walkup's hand again. To then the wonderful Shakil Majisic, who I will always applaud. Uh, just then full ignorance Lucas after he ignored the World Cup. Can't believe we let this guy return. Can't believe we let this guy even touch an Olympiacos jersey again. And I think this is arguably one of the best comments I've ever received. And I will start it. If I ever have a chance to let Gizmo run free, that's Lucas, because that dog is very smart and he can smell a word that I can't say on YouTube from miles away. I will, and that's a promise. Fener coming up for the basketball team. It would be very fun. I agree. Of course, Lavrio on the 7th. Not talking about that. But I am very happy to see the basketball mark as well. But Fener away to start the season. Fener away to start the season. That will be a very, very good test to see how everything is going. I do believe that we will manage to do it. But we'll see. As uh, our wonderful president said, both the win away and their stadium will come. Breaking an hour and 5 now and having one of the most interactive and yes, exactly my point. Very hostile atmosphere, quality team for me, one of the underdogs. We can learn a lot ahead of a tough schedule. But yeah, having one of my most interactive shows, and thank you so much for all the questions. Uh, and one of my best recordings, I'll slowly close because my voice is dead from speaking an hour non-stop without any water. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Of course, socials, as I said, down in the description. Follow everywhere, message me, comment, questions, anything you want. Big week coming up. That's the least I can say. Honestly, a thank you isn't enough, but thank you all. See you in the next one.